Hello, listeners, watchers, we should say on YouTube, and welcome to episode 1 of TOT&HAM, as aptly named by @6goal Stephen Toumi.
He won.
The Tottenham and West Ham show. Everybody who listens to the Planet FPL knows that we go on about our own clubs way too much, right?
I'm going to call it cock on an iron.
Cock and iron. Hammering the cock. There's so many good names. If you do have a chance to jump on Twitter on Planet FPL Pod, James put a tweet out asking for a name for the show. And there are some really, really good answers in there.
Yeah.
Really good answers. But Tot&HAM just became easy and simple.
Yeah,
and that's where we're starting.
Stephen's got the most likes by far as well.
He's
so
up to about
we went
30
for it.
likes on that tweet now. So Tot&HAM episode 1. Each week, every Tuesday, we're going to release Tottenham, where we can go into a little bit more detail on Tottenham and West Ham. James and I both have season tickets to our respective clubs, so we get to see them at home week in, week out, and possibly as well some more away games this year. So it'll be interesting to give a perspective on our own clubs and maybe a little bit on each other's as we're going through as well.
Yep.
Cool. This is episode 1. The season's 4 days away. You guys have Villa at home, and we're starting with probably the easiest game of the season, to be honest, Man City, at home this week. But I'm really quite excited about it. So let's start off with Tottenham. Tottenham, how are you feeling about the season? And where do you
I'm
hope to
feeling
finish?
like I want the fucking transfer window to shut, is what I'm feeling like.
Because, well, you want the European transfer window to shut. Because then no players can leave.
I want all of that shut. I'm just sick of it now. I'm sick of the negative feeling that seems to be going on for no major apparent reason. We've sold one player and bought one player. Mm-hmm. I think I've said this so many times. There's so many people get affected by what the enemy is doing. So like Arsenal have bought Pepe and that, and suddenly they're feeling positive. Yeah. And I think it's because of that Tottenham fans are in a negative mood at the moment. It's not really a need to be. This stuff with Eriksen is not good.
Where do you think he's going to be next season?
It really depends, I think, if we buy someone in the next 48 hours or so.
In which position?
In his position.
Okay. If you find a replacement, you can let him go?
I think he's going either way.
To Munich or Real?
If he goes before the English deadline shuts, it will be Man United.
Oh, that's big spending for Manchester United.
If it's afterwards, it obviously won't be Man United. It will be abroad somewhere. I think there's every chance that Eriksen will go in a couple of weeks.
To Europe?
Yeah.
And losing a player like Christian Eriksen's quality is going to obviously have an impact on Spurs. But you do have youngsters coming through, strength and depth.
And worse, actually, with Ali and Son unavailable, we should all right now be talking about the idea of having Eriksen in our FPL teams.
Yes.
And it is an absolute no-go.
Yeah. Mad.
I don't even think at the moment... We got an article coming up from Ricky Saunders, our Spurs correspondent, who's got slightly different thinking to me at the moment. He thinks Eriksen will probably still start at the weekend and in a 4-2-3-1. I think he might still be there at the weekend and still not start because it's so up in the air. And you know that makes attractive. All of a sudden, again, as someone I said a couple of weeks ago, as soon as I mentioned his name, I said, don't even ask me, he's not an option.
Lamella.
Yeah, it's actually on my mind now.
If Eriksen leaves, Lamella at 6 million is a really interesting Spurs option. And whenever he plays, he's creative, he's a good player.
Well, he
starts your press quite high up.
Probably more suitable to that position of a 1 behind the front 2 with 3 sitting midfielders. Probably even more so than Eriksen, because he receives the ball well on the half turn. He's actually better at receiving the ball and taking it on the turn than Eriksen. Eriksen's obviously the far more creative player. But actually he turns well in space and he's happy to go at people. It's the final product and overthinking of his decision making that lets him down quite a lot. I'm not certain that I won't start with Lamella in my FPL team. He's in the
differential team at the moment.
Yeah.
Off the zombie and differential pod that we put out yesterday, he made it in at 6 million.
The more I'm thinking about it, I might.
Oh, you're not going to put him in ahead of Mora.
I'll tell you why, because at the moment I've obviously upgraded.
You're sitting on Mora and Fraser.
Lacazette to Aubameyang. So I've gone to a back 4. Now, if I want to go back to the back 5 with Laporte, I need to find a bit of money, and I might go Lucas to Lamella.
Okay, interesting. Well, where do you think you'll finish this year?
Why is it that my FPL team, the players that cause them the most grief are my own players?
Because you had a really good strategy 2 years ago, which was never pick a Spurs player, and you chucked that out of the window. Go back to that, and you'll have much less stress.
So much easier.
Yeah, man. I'm in a similar boat this year in that there are a few from West Ham that I've got my eye on. Lanzini and Haller are top of the list, but I know how many times my side have let me down in the past, so it's frustrating, but it is interesting. You'll be happy with top fourth?
If you offer me fourth now, I'd take it.
If I was a Spurs fan, I think I would be in the same boat.
And everyone seems to think third.
The truth is that you have overachieved in the last couple of seasons more than underachieved based on net spend and all the rest of that stuff, playing away from home at Wembley week in, week out. I think it's fair to say you've overachieved. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a season of just a bit of recalibration around fourth or fifth, and then kick on again to really make third. It
feels like the last couple of years have been like that.
Recalibration.
A little bit.
And finishing third whilst
recalibrating. If you think how we finished at White Hart Lane, kind of pushed Chelsea a bit. I mean, we actually probably... I mean, our form in the last 3 months of that season was serious title form. And then Wembley really just fucked everything and kind of put us back at square one again. This should be... I think a lot of people are getting carried away thinking, right, we're in the stadium, that's it, we can buy players, we can buy whoever we want, we can get the wages out. It just doesn't work like that.
Look at Arsenal, right? They spent, 10 years paying off the stadium with they had a decent foundation of a squad, so they got away with 4 or 5 years of not needing to make a lot of transfers. But they were on a tight budget whilst the stadium was being paid off. The frustration was now that it has been 10 years that they haven't then started reinvesting, but this summer they have. You're going to have that period of a couple of years of paying the stadium off. It overspent a little bit. It's not just the case of the stadium's done now, let's start throwing money around. It doesn't work like that. You need a bit of period of stabilisation. Be interesting for Spurs. Standout player for the season?
Oh, yeah, Harry. Certainly for FPL point of view. I'd say it would be massive for Spurs this year is Harry Winks.
You think so?
Critical.
He's the player that's going to break out.
There are similar types of players like Dyer and Wanyama have similarities in terms of they're real sitter holding midfield players if you want to put an extra body there. There are similarities between Ndombele and Sissoko, which is why I can see the idea he wants to play one either side of Winks. By the way, if it is a 4-2-3-1 at the weekend, I don't think Ndombele will start.
No.
He'll only start if it's a free in midfield. It's just a shame we seem to have suddenly got ourselves in a position where it felt like all pre-season everyone was fit, and now we're into game week 1 with no Son, no Ali, and possibly no Ericsson. It's a blow again, right? It's like starting handicaps.
I'm not getting a vibe of like upbeat, positive energy.
No,
really.
I'm not, because I can't sit here and tell people.
You started saying you don't get all the negativity around the club, but I suppose you're being a bit realistic. Like fourth is good, right? But you should be winning this weekend against Spurs.
Well, I'd like to think that we will get closer to Liverpool and City this year. I don't expect anything beyond that, but I'd like to get closer to them.
Yeah.
To make an effort. What I've said previously is that game week 1, the aim is to win the league.
Yeah.
I don't think we can, but that's got to be the aim. It's negative because of that. The idea of going into game week 1 and talking about our 3 most threatening attacking midfielders and potentially none of them are going to play. But that's a negative impact. Then you add in the idea of Alderweireld. Foyth's injury and Aurea not being back yet has caused some question marks at right back. Kyle Walker-Peters is fine. For the people asking, yes, he'll play Saturday. Beyond that, I have no clue.
Yeah.
No clue what will happen. Would he be happy playing him in game week 2 at City against probably Sterling? Mm-hmm. That's a big task. So not necessarily. Not that you might want to leave him out that week anyway. I don't know. So I don't know who's going to play centre half. If it be Alderweireld or Sanchez. Danny Rose, I assume at the moment, is staying.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to get Session in. Mm-hmm. But I don't think defensively. My advice on Spurs for FPL would be avoid defensively.
Agreed.
And you're narrowing down to looking at Kane, Lucas, and Lamella.
Son when he's fit, maybe.
Yeah, of course. But for right now, it's them 3 for me. And Lamella open. The reason Lamella becomes optional as well is so much crap in that 6 million midfield area.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So you're looking
available.
at him and going, if Ericsson goes, especially as well, and Ali out till we assume September, is he going to get a little run? I don't know. Every pre-season, by the way, Lamela is brilliant.
Yeah.
Every pre-season. And then...
It's not that he's rubbish. He just doesn't get the minutes, maybe. He played week in, week out regularly for a team.
It seems hard to believe he's been at Spurs now for 6 years.
Wow. Considering he doesn't get the minutes. I mean, I haven't got the stats in front of me. I'll be interested to see how many minutes he gets a season.
Well, he's had
1,200
terrible injuries. He hardly played 2 years ago. And the first 2 years we had him, he hardly played. I feel like you're going to go and dig that out. Aren't
I
you?
want to know the stats on how many minutes he gets, because he's a decent player.
What I should say, Loris, if you want to go down that route of 5.5,
also a decent shot.
He's fine. Yeah, it's okay. But I really feel like it could be Alderweireld or Sanchez at centre half of the week. If Vertonghen's nailed, it's the best one. If you want that security of someone in there, go Vertonghen. You're very, very unlikely to ever see anything beyond the clean sheet points.
Yeah. Lamela hasn't topped 1,000 minutes for 3 seasons.
Is that correct?
595, 826, 965. 965 minutes last year, which equates to 10.5 games. In 10.5 games, how many attacking returns?
What, for Lamela?
Yeah.
So you're saying, 60 games in total?
No, 10.5 games, 90 minutes. 900 minutes.
He's not bad. I bet he's 1 in 2.5 or so.
4 goals, 4 assists, 4 clean sheets.
From last season. He had a good spell in the autumn.
67 points from 10.
He scored at your place, he scored
games.
at Wolves. He had a good spell. And then he got injured again.
Yeah. Lamela, Ericsson leaves. Lamela cements a starting spot. £6 million. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'd have him. But there's too many
until
ifs.
Ali's fit.
Yeah, there's too many ifs before I think I can justify Lamela at the moment. And I've got a risky pick in Perez and also Ceballos at Arsenal, so I don't want to chuck Lamela into this.
Ceballos, not that we should be talking about it now, but he's got a knock and might not make the weekend.
Put a yellow flag on him and I might be making some moves then. Yeah, interesting.
Should we talk about your lot?
West Ham.
Do we have to?
Love it. I love it. It was your idea to have this show.
Was it?
Yeah, man. I love it. I've got a mate, Johnny D. Shout out to him. He's a bit older than me. I think he must be 52, 53. So he's been going for 30 odd years. And I'm allowing his optimism to now filter in. I love it. Every game we go to, he goes, I'm like, what's the score going to be? And he will say, without even thinking about it, we're going to win 3-0. We're going to win 3-0. I love it. Every week, we're going to win 3-0. And every season, at the start of the season, he would say to me, 10 quid on the FA Cup. And I actually quite like that approach because you can't help but not be happy. So what? Whatever happens, we're going to win 3-0. We could get battered 10-0 on Saturday. Next week, we're going to win 3-0. So that's the approach I'm taking. Illogical optimism week in, week out.
So he's down about, what's his name? Dave?
John.
It's close.
Yeah.
He's down about 390 quid at the moment, batting you to win
I
the
don't
cup,
think he's been putting tenner in, year out. And also, he's right, he can afford it. So don't worry about it.
You're not our eternal optimists, I think.
Yeah. This season, I feel like we've got a full squad. We've got cover in every position apart from up front. If you don't, and with Chicharito, we've got up front. Like you're looking at in goal, Fabianski's perfectly good. We've bought Roberto as a replacement keeper. I don't know enough about him, but
Fabianski's a doubt for the weekend, isn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't been getting the minutes. Roberto would be a concern, but Fabianski's not long-term injured.
Mrs. was moaning about that.
Your missus was.
Why has Flappy got a fucking yellow flag?
Well, look, if he's most of the way there, he'll probably play. But right back, you've got Zabaleta and Fredericks. Left back, you've got Cresswell and Masuaku.
Can we go back? I heard Roberto, he's proper shaky.
Yeah, he's not the best. He's not the best. I would have rather kept Adrian, who now Liverpool have got as a good replacement keeper. He'd do perfectly well as a substitute keeper.
With splinters in his arse. He's never getting in the team, is he?
No, he's not, but it's injury. He's there if there's an injury, right? Or the Coca-Cola
I'm sure he's
Cup,
being compensated in wages
Carabao
quite nicely.
Cup, or Carling Cup, or whatever drink cup it is now.
Yeah.
Milk. Why is it always drinks that sponsor that anyway?
You got to be pissed. I like it.
Yeah, maybe. We got cover at centre half.
It's Capital One now in a drink.
Is it Capital One now?
Yeah.
Credit cards. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was saying, we've got cover at centre half. We've got Balbuena and Diop, but Ogbonna's still there. Winston Reid is still there. We've got defensive midfield, Rice, Wilshere, Noble and Sanchez, 4 for 2 spots. Attacking midfield, we're going to play a 4-2-3-1. You've got Fornals, Lanzini and Anderson as you'd think who would start, but then behind them, Snodgrass, Yarmolenko, Antonio, Diangana, and I probably missed a couple out. And up front, we've got Haller, and then the replacement to him is the issue when it was Chicharito because he can't play as a front man. But,
or he plays Antonio there, maybe.
Yeah, I would prefer Antonio as the replacement striker. At this point, we have enough strength in depth and talent. It's not an issue about do we have the right players. I feel like I really want to see that front three of Lanzini, Fornals and Anderson to get some kind of chemistry where they can use their creative talent and just start playing well with each other, because then that will unlock a lot of potential goals for us. I'm going into the season optimistic, man. I really think we have strength and depth everywhere, which will be interesting. I think there's still doubts on. We don't know who's going to play right back at the moment still. Will he go with Fredericks or Zabaleta?
Played at the weekend, didn't he, Fredericks?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He's available, but I don't know if he will want to risk Fredericks or go with a tried and trusted in Zabaleta. I also feel like Pellegrini prefers Masuaku to Cresswell, but Cresswell gets the armband when Noble's not on the pitch. And he has been getting the armband throughout pre-season. So I think when we're more defensive-minded, he'll go with Cresswell. And when he wants to just chuck the kitchen sink at it, he'll just put Masuaku on because he'll bomb down the wing a little more. But I'm going into the season optimistic.
Where do you think you'll finish?
I don't want to say 7th, but I really think, all things going well, we should be finishing 7th.
What, above Chelsea?
Above Leicester. On paper, we've got as good a team as Leicester or Everton or Watford or Wolves, who are our challengers in that space. Same 5 teams in that space. You
know what that next step is, don't you? You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, we've got to break into that top 6.
It's the mentality.
It is. I'm saying it's not.
In the mentality.
It's not a talent issue. I really don't think there's a talent issue now at the squad, with the squad as it is. It's more than capable of breaking in the way that Leicester and Everton have in the past. It's just about that mentality. I think Pellegrini's doing all right. He's built a good squad. There's no troublemakers within the squad. Arnie's gone.
Yeah, it had to go.
So this weekend, I've got no issue with losing to City this weekend, but I want to see some creativity up front from those front three. I want to see some chemistry.
Your bullishness worries me because I know a lot of them listening or watching and now, oh yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, make your own dumb, stupid decisions if you want to pick West Ham players. Lanzini's coming in at 6.5 million, and he's a very talented creative player. The only West Ham options that I'm looking at are Lanzini and Haller at the moment.
Not Fornals.
No.
Not Anderson.
No, Anderson's too expensive compared to Lanzini.
What, 0.5?
And Lanzini's playing more centrally, and Fornals is new.
It's not the central that bothers me with Anderson. It's more this idea that he's going to be off the right.
He is going to be off the right, in my opinion, which I'll tell you more about after the weekend. But yeah, Lanzini's on more set pieces, and I think Lanzini's more of a Pellegrini favourite. As soon as he came back from his knee, he was literally straight into the starting 11, which surprised me because I thought he would be nursed back into the team. He was chucked straight back in. And so, yeah, I really think he's just... We say don't read too much on pre-season form. He's 3-3. He's scored in the last 3 games, which, if nothing else, tells you he's taking shots from in and around the edge of the box. All 3 of his goals have been from in and around the edge of the box. So the one against Bilbao was 6-yard line, a little bit more closer. It was a penalty spot, let's say. But still, he's taking shots. I'm bullish, man. And I'm going to be all season, even if we lose this weekend 4-0. If I see some creative attacking potential in that front 3 behind Haller, I'm going to be interested.
That is generally the mean score, isn't it, when you play Man City at home?
4-0 or 5. One or the other.
See yourself getting anything?
This weekend?
Yeah.
I'm going into the game thinking we can win.
3-0.
Thinking we can win. It's going to take the performance of a lifetime, right? We're going to need Rice, Wilshere, Noble to be fucking running down everything and closing down all the space. We're going to need luck on our side, them to hit the bar a bit. We're going to need Flappy to play. Roberto's playing, we're not going to win.
You know what? I guarantee you will happen.
A goal or 2.
If you win this weekend, you'll lose at Brighton next week.
Quite possibly. It wouldn't surprise me.
That's what you need to change.
We need to keep it tight until 60, 70 minutes. And then the pressure starts building on City. We'll end up sitting deeper and they'll end up trying to break us down longer. We can't do what we've done in previous seasons, which is go down after 10 minutes 1-0 or 2-0, because then they just fucking free up and we're chasing the game and then they just kill you. Especially with Sterling and Sane on the flanks, which happened last time round. First time, Sane squared it for Sterling. 10 minutes later, Sterling squares it for Sane. You're 2-0 down, game over. Just give up. We think
Sane's probably out, don't we?
Not going to play, but anyone off the flanks coming in from them could.
The suggestion is Jesus might start ahead of Aguero at the moment, and Sterling back in a wide area.
Yeah, but I'm going into it's an early kickoff. I'm going for some fun, man. I'm going to enjoy this season. We've got some really creative attacking players. Really good creative attacking players. How can you not want to? It's probably going to be good old West Ham losing games 4-3 and 5-4 and
yeah,
stupid.
You prefer that.
We'll have a bit of fun along the way, and we'll win every game 3-0. So yeah, don't base your FPL selections on my bullishness. But if you really want West Ham players, for me, the attacking midfield is Lanzini, and over the course of the season, I think Allaire will prove 7.5 million is good enough value, 150 points. But he may have peaks and troughs, and you're going to have to ride them out. I don't think he's a form player that you
don't think anybody else is looking at Allaire.
Yeah, don't.
Is it Allaire or
Allaire? Allaire. That's why I liked. That was one of the names for the show. He's French.
He's French.
He played under 21s. He's 25 now, and he never broke into the full team. I think one of the names for the show was Ali Allaire or something like that. It was 3 players who
Makes me think of Liverpool, nicknames. Can we not?
Yeah. I'm bullish, mate. I'm bullish.
All right, cool.
Have to be. What's the point otherwise?
Well, yeah, it's a bad place to start. I think what's affected me a little bit was prior to the Inter game, we've been playing really well in pre-season. We were great against Madrid and Bayern. We played well against Juventus. United wasn't great. It became quite a bitty game. The tempo was really flat. It felt more like the first pre-season game than the last. I think that was quite a bit on Inter because they were quite lackadaisical to start with.
Yeah.
It was warm. No warmer than it has been on these games I've been playing in Germany and Asia. It was just a bit flat. I think that more than anything, that's why I'm a bit...
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think one of the best bits of business that happened for us this summer, looking at the squad now, was fucking Arnautovic leaving.
Agreed.
From a culture point of view for the club.
And on that, if Eriksen's not the type who's going to cause up a big stink,
no.
He'll go on a free transfer next year. But if he's causing problems, don't care how good you are, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm agreed with you on that. So interesting. There we go. Quick pre-season delve into Tottenham and West Ham there for you. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, having both been to West Ham City and Tottenham Villa. So we're giving you a bit more of an in-depth report on how we set up, how the performance was, and maybe if 1 or 2 FPL gems do stick their hand up, like Lamela or Fornals or whoever, give you some insight into them. Anything else to add?
No, just that we've made an amendment to our schedule.
Yes, that's right. We are now going to be... Originally, we were putting content out every day. The plan was to release Planet Sky Fantasy Football every Friday, where we are now trying to win 50 grand to buy a new studio or whatever we're going to use it for. Yeah, man-child's cheering there. We're going to do that on Wednesdays now because we want to give people time to listen and actually think about their Sky teams before the Friday deadline. If we do it Friday morning and Manchild takes his usual 10 hours to edit any video.
And actually, with moving the...
Sorry, Manchild.
Fridays will now become like kind of an update on our dead differentials.
And the others.
And probably our own drafts as well in terms of what we did last minute. So actually moving that back to the Friday probably makes a little bit more sense. Yeah,
exactly. So tune in tomorrow to find out where we are with our final Sky Fantasy Football drafts. Give or take a couple of days of tinkering. We'll be there or thereabouts. And then Thursday, we have Chris at FI_FPL Addict and at FPL Pringle, Johnny, coming on to talk specifically about West Ham and City from their point of views. And I'm sure they'll shed a bit of light on their draft as well.
Probably not.
Secretive bunch.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. But thanks for listening to Tottenham, West Ham, Tottenham episode 1. Tune in next week for episode 2.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Cue music.
I'm forever blowing bubbles.
Come on, you Spurs.
That's it.
Come on, you
We're
Spurs.
done.
Go on, you Spiz.
Who are you Spurs?
It's not even a sentence. It's just go on, you Spiz. Go on, you Spiz.